I'm going to show you the defensive side of this, and if you guys have been to camp before, you learned it. If not, little dudes, you gotta zone in right now, okay? You gotta need focus right now because this is complicated for little guys, the elementary dudes. We're going to show you a funk roll, and I showed this for two reasons. One, so you can do it, and two, so it doesn't happen to you. All right. This is definitely a position thing where, you know what, you got to discipline yourself to not make errors and let this happen to you. But then as the defensive guy, it is an opportunity. I want to start by saying this. This is our last line of defense. It's the last thing I do. I'm going to show you baseline defense probably next session if I can get to it. This is the last thing we want to do is a funk roll. This guy shoots. What should I do?
Cross face, use hands.
No. Okay, so listen, what's our first line of defense?
Head.
That's our head, right? So I don't sprawl with my head, right? So if I would say sprawl is the first thing I do, that means I conceded the fact. That he's beating my head and he's beating my hands. I don't want to concede that fact. All right, let's illustrate this point. I want to use my head as a line of defense. That means this. If I'm here on Ryan shoots, go ahead, take a shot. Notice my head was in the way. I down block with my head. I got my body lower, and what that does is it allows me to take a counterattack. So in reality, all right, it could look something like this. We're going to go really slow here. All right, Ryan's going to take a shot. Go ahead, he takes that shot. As he comes up, there's my shot. So it's a shot, counter shot. By me not sprawling, I was able to position my body in a way that I could take a counterattack. I did that by lowering my level, circling my feet, not letting him underneath my head. My head was my first line of defense. Another example of head as line of defense. Let's say he gets an underhook on me. Yeah, you get the underhook. He's here. My head might be like this, okay? So I'm going to try to get my head lower than his. Why? He can't get underneath me now. So when my head is lower than his, he can't get underneath me. Does that make sense? All right? So this is head as line of defense. What's my second line of defense? Hands. My hands are my second line of defense. So here's a bad illustration of hands as line of defense. This is what you guys do. Bad illustration. Okay? You shoot, he shoots, you do that. You're like, why is that bad? Well, look what I just did with my arms. Move away. Look at my arms. I extended my arms. My arms came out of my stance. I pushed him away. And what happens is a good guy will post, will chop, will do something to my arms to beat him. Why? Because they're out of my stance. They were weak. They were extended. My second line of defense is my hands. Here's an accurate depiction of your hands as the second line of defense. Now, Ryan's going to take that shot. Go ahead. As he takes the shot, now look. From here, my arm got in the way. My right arm is in the way. This is called down blocking. I've down blocked with my right arm. Notice, he beat my head. His head underneath my head. We understand this? Okay, his head's underneath my head. He beat my head by being lower. He did not beat my hands. My hand was in the way. So by having my hand in the way, now I can transition to a front headlock and look to score. So I can down block. That's my second line of defense, okay? Third line of defense is my what? Hips. So, Ryan shoots. Well, now look. He's beating my head by being lower. He's beating my hands. He's inside. Now is my hips. Now it's sprawl. So when I said he shoots, what do? You said sprawl. You automatically gave up this and this. You said, hey, I'm not going to defend you with my head and my hands. I'm just going to sprawl. That's normal. That's instinct. We're counteracting instinct here. Okay? So sprawl would be this. I'm not there yet. Shove head down, do 10 ways to sprawl. We're going to get there. Okay? Now, I can't beat him with a sprawl. He's in too tight. He's in too deep. Okay? Now, I can't get his head down. I can't sprawl. So what do? I try to scramble. So once I can't beat him with a sprawl, I can't beat him with my head, I can't beat him with my hips, all that stuff. Now I try to scramble. I'm trying to create something. Okay? And that's what we're doing here. I'm going to lock around his waist and I'm going to try to flip him over. Now I'm a defensive guy. I try to flip him over. What's he going to do? He's going to run his hips the outside of his head. Now he did everything right. He did everything right. He ran his hips the opposite side of his head, but he's going to make one mistake. That one mistake is he's going to drive up to his knee. He's going to drive into me. Right there. Notice, when he drives up to his knee, he's going to give me an opportunity. Let's turn this way. All right. When he puts that knee in the mat, go ahead, just relax right there. When he puts this knee in the mat right here, this is my chance. I'm going to put myself in a position where now I can do what we call a funk roll. This was once really out there technique, pretty crazy. Now it's just basic fundamentals. 5-year-old kids know this. You guys got to know it, okay? From here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to drop from his waist to his leg. So my hands that are locked around his waist, they go to lock around his leg. Now notice, my right hand is over top of his leg. or his waist, my right hand goes over top of his leg. I don't switch the position, meaning underneath, of my right hand. My left hand is underneath. You see my left hand? It's underneath here. My left hand goes underneath his leg. So I just go from his waist to his leg. Now, I'm going to roll. And I'm going to roll as hard as I can across my back to my belly. And as I do this, I throw this leg over top of me. Okay? He's a stud. All right? He's going to keep his hips above me. All right? He does that by letting go of my legs and he posts the mat. This is normal. That's what happens. I'm going to go from here to here. Now look, worst case scenario. So worst case that should be for me. I get to here, I grab his other leg, I hold on for dear life and end up with a stalemate. Now I went from giving up 2 points to giving up 0 points. That's a net gain of me of 2. So I basically profited 2 points there. All right, best case scenario, all right, I'm in this position. I bring my knees under, I bring my head up, I step up, turn in, I come out the back door. Now I went from giving up 2 to getting 2. That's a net swing of 4, and that's what breaks the guy, okay? And this guy's about to get 2 and I get 2. That breaks him. And I don't want it to break us if you're the offensive guy, so that's why we're learning this. Right? He takes the shot. I'm going to try to flip him over. He counters. He did everything right, but he's going to make one mistake. He's going to drop to his knee. Notice, he drove up to his knee. Now I go from his waist to his leg. The first mistake you're going to make, the first one you make, is you switch your hands. You guys do this. You take this right hand, and you take it under his leg. I can't do that from here. This holds on to the leg. It doesn't allow me to roll. I can't bring my right hand under. The second mistake is this guy. Hold on to my legs the whole time, okay? You guys won't be a good partner. You won't keep your hips above, and you'll hold on to the legs and watch what happens. He'll end up on his back, which isn't reality. This guy goes to roll, he does everything right, but this guy, the defensive guy, or I guess the offensive guy really, right, doesn't do the right thing. So Ryan's just going to hold on to be a bad partner right now. I go from here, and we end up like this. You're like this. Yeah, I'm pretty tough. I'm state champ of the world. It doesn't work like that, all right? No, that guy's not going to his back from there, I promise. All right, let's do this again. He knocks. Or he shoots. I block on his waist, try to flip over, he counters. All right, brings his knee up. Knee comes up, I roll underneath. When I roll underneath, my hips come under. Now, rule of thumb in a scramble. We're in a scramble. High head, low hips. High head, low hips. So, I need to get my head up and my hips underneath me. High head, low hips. I step up, I turn in, I come out the back door. You might say, Coach, what if you grab your feet? It can happen. It's a scramble. You got to wrestle through it. Be a wrestler. You know what I always tell my guys? They say, Coach, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm like, be a wrestler. Just be a wrestler, man. Go out there and wrestle the positions. All right? These are one of those. One more time, we'll go out there and hit. He's going to hit a double leg on me. He's going to double leg and lock. Try to flip over. He counters. His knee comes up. I'm going to drop from his waist to his leg. I drop from his waist to his leg, and now I roll. As I roll, I throw this leg over top my body. Now my knees come underneath. I step up. Try to keep this leg. Step up with my right foot. I turn in. I come out the back door. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3.